Govan Mbeki municipality in Mpumalanga has been slapped with a 200 million rand fine by the Bethal Magistrate's Court for violating environmental laws. This after the council was accused of poorly managing untreated sewage. Govan Mbeki Mayor Nhlakanipho Zuma joins us now for more on that. Executive Mayor, good evening. Good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on this evening. How did it happen that for a period of, it's close to a year if you look at November 2022 up to September 2023, that this would happen and it would not be rectified?
No, thank you very much, and good evening to you and everybody who's watching. Firstly, I must indicate that it had not only happened from 2019 to 2020. It's an occurrence that might have taken a bit longer, but the challenge that was submitted to the court was for the period that is being presented. Secondly, it is because of the fact that our infrastructure, unfortunately, had not been up to scratch, and unfortunately, for us to correct some of the challenges that were facing the municipality's infrastructure required quite a lump sum form of money and interventions and skills. And unfortunately, at that particular time, we were very much limited. And that is why we have unfortunately been found guilty of this particular offense, which we are not faulting the court. We are in total agreement with the outcomes of the court.
So what are the issues that would have been raised, I suppose, with yourself as early as September? Would have been the situation that the sewer lines are not being opened. So as a result, there are manholes permanently opened to discharge sewer to some of the trenches and into the river. Is that an infrastructure thing? Is that a capacity thing? Why, when there is a blocked sewer line, it's not being opened?
No. Firstly, let me indicate that that period of time I was not the executive mayor. So it would not have been reported to me, but I'm now incumbent and I'm inheriting whatever that has been left behind. Secondly, my understanding of the challenges that have been facing the municipality goes from, firstly, the poor infrastructure that we had on the basis that it was not maintained adequately. Secondly, it was the issue of capacity in terms of the human resource that we had, whether in the form of skills, whether in the form of number of people that were available to service the infrastructure, but also the issue of negligence. We cannot run away from it. But furthermore, issues of vandalism into the infrastructure would have led to such situations. For example, most of the manholes that the municipality has initially had metal lids that were sealing them, and most of those metal lids were stolen. We know the sketch of metal theft that we had, and unfortunately that's what had transpired.
So let's look at some of the areas. Specifically, Mbalentla is one area that has been cited here. And they're saying that the Mbalentla extension 18 there, sewage flowing directly into the play park, that is affecting even the company that's manufacturing bricks there. I don't come from the area, but this is a councillor that comes from the area that is telling us this. What have you done? I believe there is some work where you are beginning to refurbish some of the infrastructure.
There is so much work that has been done. Firstly, in appreciating the depth of the crisis that we were faced with, we had to prioritize our intervention. So all our grant funding that is coming from municipal infrastructure grant, the regional bulk infrastructure grant, had to be prioritized towards one area of service delivery, which is sanitation and water only. Up until today, when we prioritize our budget, we ensure that sanitation becomes number one, followed by water infrastructure. So some of the areas that are cited on the outcomes of the court are areas that we have already addressed. Secondly, are areas that we are continuing to work on. Yeah. And this particular fine for us is a necessary fine on the basis that it is therefore channeled towards the very same infrastructure. So as we are going to be popping it out, but we are not going to be handing it over elsewhere, but we are going to be investing it back into infrastructure and reporting on quarterly basis to the necessary authorities so that they can be able to see that we are committed in ensuring that we are remedying the situation. Furthermore, part of that 200 million is a 50 million that has been suspended, provided that we are not found doing the same transgression again, and we are given up to 2026 to remedy the entire crisis that we are faced with. So we are very hopeful that with the interventions that we are bringing and also with the support that we have been receiving from our private sector and also our intergovernmental relationship, I think that we have managed to solve most, but we are unfortunately not done yet.
Yeah. So let's talk about that project. And then Nhlakanipho wastewater treatment plant, are you saying that treatment plant has now been resolved?
No. The Nhlakanipho waste treatment plant has two situations. The first one, there is a project that we had ensued using the municipal or the regional bulk infrastructure program of upgrading that particular facility so that it can be able to absorb the capacity that is desired on the basis that the township had grown over years, and unfortunately the waste treatment plant was no longer sufficiently capacitated for it to take care of the sewer. In that process, unfortunately, the company that was appointed to do the project, unfortunately, in the middle of the project, they submitted themselves and said that they cannot continue anymore, citing issues of limited capacity on their side. And this led to us taking a decision to terminate them. And unfortunately, those funds, because it was a grant, had to be taken back to the Department of Water and Sanitation to be given to other municipalities to utilize while we start a new process of procurement. But we were then told by the department that no. The indication is that the municipality does not have sufficient capacity to implement a project of this magnitude. Therefore, we would rather implement this kind of a project through the district municipality, which already the district municipality is now appointed as the implementing agent for that particular project, which is the waste treatment plant and also the pump station in Extension 5.
The Mandela section area, they're saying that's the biggest flow there that is flowing into the river, and residents there have been subjected to inhumane living conditions continuously. What is happening in that section?
We had to construct a pump station in Extension 25, which that pump station has been constructed and completed. But upon completion of that particular pump station, we realized that some of the projects that had been given earlier to certain contractors for reticulation of sewer network, had not been done appropriately. And therefore, we are in a process and in engagements with the Department of Human Settlements for us to rectify that particular problem on the basis that the funding had come from that department, and also that department was the implementing agent for such projects.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are two big projects that I'm citing. I mean, there are many others that seem to be stuck somewhere in a backlog or in a new procurement kind of process that is going on. You literally have just under a year and some months if you're saying your target is 2026. Do you see yourself being able to hit that target, or once again facing another fine from the NPA on this matter?
No, we are very positive that we are going to be able to implement. case in point is that most of these projects are completed. The ones that are mainly remaining is the ones where we felt as the municipality that the companies that were implementing were moving either at a slow pace or were not moving at all in the implementation of those projects. The one I've just counted in Mbalenhle, Extension 5 and the waste treatment plant, and also the one in Iendrag, where we have also terminated the company. But other than that, the rest of the projects are in motion, and others we are in the process of procurement. Therefore, we are going to be able to meet the targets.
Have you done a asset register audit and identified all the equipment that needs to be repaired?
Yes, we have done a master plan, a sanitation master plan or sewer network master plan, assisted by our conglomerate here, Sasol, with their expertise, and we were able to identify the entire network of Govan Mbeki and what it will need for it to perform at an optimal position. And it's a master plan that requires a continuous renewal on the basis that the municipality is growing at a very rapid rate. Currently, we are sitting at about 3.6% growth per year. So that has some serious strains towards the infrastructure that we have. But yet we do have a master plan that is reviewable periodically.
So how much of that grant would you require in order to be able to do that refurbishment by 30th May 2025, or before that at least?
Look, we are seated with a massive challenge. The first thing that we must indicate. To achieve the targets of the master plan, it might take us up to 2030 on the basis that it will demand over R1 billion. But to resolve the issues that are highlighted by the court, it will therefore take us possibly up to the 30th of June 2025, if not 2026. Yes.
The portfolio committee has weighed in on this as well, and the issue that you would have raised as well, it was before your time, I gather that, but the municipality would have raised, is that long procurement processes are impeding the municipality in dealing with some of these urgent challenges. How are you circumventing that?
No, I think those were historical challenges. We do not have such at the current moment. Our procurement process are guided by the Municipal Finance Management Act, which prescribes that the whole entire process of procurement must not last more than 90 days. So we are in compliance with that particular process.
And Executive Mayor, I mean, in response to the communities right now who are living under these hazardous challenges, what is the time frame that you're giving them to address these challenges?
Look, it's different responses and different time frames for different communities. Remember that you are speaking for communities in Mbalenhle, different extensions, which some of the extensions, their projects would have been completed, some will still be completed within this financial year, some in the next financial year. So it will not be the same in terms of the period to be weighted. But on the same wavelength, it's proper to indicate to your good selves that we do have temporary means to try and intervene in most of these challenges. We had procured 2 jet pressure jet trucks and also 6 honeysuckers, so as we can be able to relieve the system while we are busy with construction. So we will humbly submit ourselves to the same community in saying that we know that the municipality has faltered, and we will require as much cooperation from them so as we can be able to achieve what we're supposed to achieve in good time and in a coordinated manner. Thanks.
That's the Mayor of the Govan Mbeki municipality there, Nhlakanipho Zuma. Appreciate your time, Mayor. Thank you very much for coming on this evening. Let's turn to